Floating a click floor is a fast and easy way to install a real wood floor. The floor is clicked together without being mechanically fastened or glued to the subfloor. The floor can be installed on any level of the home, even basements. Let's start by reviewing some helpful tips that will ensure your installation will go smoothly. Flooring is usually one of the last items to be installed, so make sure your structure is completely enclosed and all plumbing and drywall work is completed. The heat and air conditioning systems must be operated for at least 14 days under normal conditions. Make sure your temperature is set between 60 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit and maintain a relative humidity of 35 to 55%. Gather the recommended tools for installation. Refer to the instruction manual for a complete list. It is important to spend a few minutes on pre-installation planning to ensure a successful outcome. Any subfloor issues must be fixed before installing the floor. Refer to the instruction sheet for details. As part of preparing your subfloor, remove any existing quarter-round shoe molding or doorway thresholds. They can be reinstalled later in such a way as to allow for the expansion space around the perimeter of the room. Your subfloor should be clean, secure, flat, and meet the moisture requirements detailed in the instructions. All door casings should be notched out or undercut. This will give your new floor room to expand and contract. To undercut, use a piece of the new flooring and underlayment. Place on the subfloor as a height guide for your handsaw or jam saw. Avoid doing difficult scribe cuts. Now that you have a controlled environment, store your unopened cartons on a raised flat surface for at least 72 hours before beginning the installation. Instruction sheets are included in each carton. Read them completely before beginning the installation. When deciding in which direction the flooring will run in each room, install the planks parallel to the main light source if possible. This will best highlight the floor's natural beauty and character. Plan ahead. You will likely need to cut the first and last row of boards lengthwise in order to avoid having a very narrow last row in a room or hallway. Make sure your room is square. If it isn't, you will need to mark and cut the first row of boards to follow the contours of the starting wall. This will ensure you will be working from a straight line when installing the other rows. One last thing, since our T-moldings, reducers, and flooring are made from real wood, they will likely vary in appearance. It is a good idea to pre-select flooring planks that coordinate closely to the moldings before you begin your installation. Set aside these complementary planks to install next to the moldings. Okay, now let's start the installation. Lay down your underlayment by following the manufacturer's instructions. An expansion space equal to the thickness of your floor will be needed around the perimeter of the room, plus all vertical surfaces such as stairs and cabinets. Use plastic flooring spacers or cut pieces of your flooring planks to use to maintain the expansion space during installation. Measure your first 2 rows of boards, including your expansion space. Don't include the locking edges into your measurement, just the board tops. Mark and snap a chalk line. This will give you a straight line to utilize after you have engaged the first 2 rows. It's crucial to ensure your first 2 rows are very straight and secure. This will provide a stable foundation to use for installing all of the other rows in the room. Let's review how to do this. Start your planks in the left-hand corner of the room with the groove side of the locking profile facing you. Glue together the short ends of the planks with a thin bead of wood glue on the first 2 rows only. You will also glue the last 2 rows. You do not glue the rows in between. Periodically place spacers to maintain the required expansion space between the walls and the wood planks. When installing click-lock planks, you should fold the plank down in a single action so that the ends lock together. At the end of the row, place a spacer along the wall. Measure for the cut of the last plank. If you are using a circular saw, be sure to use an 80-tooth blade for a smooth cut. Install the last piece in that row and then weight down the first 2 rows to allow the glue to dry. This will create 2 very stable rows that you will build upon. Once the glue is dry, continue installing all other rows in the same manner but without the glue. After installing the first 2 rows, make sure you align the floor with the chalk line you made previously. You may need to reposition the floor at this time. Another helpful tip is to work from several cartons at a time. Mix the board lengths and features so that they are visibly appealing to you. When starting a new row, utilize the leftover cut piece from the end of the previous row if it is 9 inches or longer. The plank should be held at a 45-degree angle to engage the already installed board's long sides. Rotate down in one motion. If properly engaged, the boards will lay flat. Use a tapping block to ensure a tight fit or correct any misalignments. You cannot force the boards. If they are not lying flat, the long side is not fully engaged. Tapping blocks can be helpful in engaging the long sides of the planks, but care must be taken to not force or damage the locking profile. Some longer boards may be bowed or curved. They are okay to install and are not defective. If the board is slightly bowed, use your left hand to apply downward pressure and use a tapping block in your right hand to engage the long sides of the boards completely. Be sure your planks are staggered. The minimum distance between short ends in adjoining parallel rows should be 9 inches or more. Always avoid making an H shape with the ends. Continue installing flooring planks until you reach the last 2 rows. Remember, the long sides of planks must be fully aligned before rotating down. The short ends of the planks in the last 2 rows should be glued. You will likely have to cut the last row lengthwise to ensure a proper fit. Remember to allow for the expansion space. When finished, weight them down until dry. You're almost finished. Utilize putty and/or stain pen as needed. Take care not to rub too hard or you will make the area glossier. Remove the spacers and install any necessary moldings or trims. Be sure you do not nail into the floor or into the expansion space. Quarter round should be nailed into the baseboards. If you are using any T-moldings or reducers, install them now. You're all done! Maintaining your floors is simple. Regularly sweep or vacuum up loose dirt that can dull your finish. Use a spray floor cleaner specifically designed for hardwood floors. Do not use liquid paste wax, oil, silicone, ammonia-based cleaners as they can permanently dull or cloud the finish. Floors should not be wet mopped. Do not use power scrubbers or steam cleaners. Remember, it is important that you maintain a normal temperature between 60 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit and a relative humidity between 35 to 55%. Click Lockwood Flooring is a beautiful, natural, healthy choice for your home. It is good for you and the environment. Following these installation and maintenance tips will help ensure you have gorgeous wood floors for many years to come.